What's up, YouTube? So now that it's in the off season, the first order of business is, as I alluded to in another video, we have to look at our own free agents before we can even think about, acquiring new talent for next year. We have to figure out who we want to keep, who's priority, and who we're prepared to just kind of let go. And that's what I'm going to be getting into today. These are all the upcoming free agents this year. I'm going to go over it one at a time. But before I get into that, I do just want to kind of explain a couple of things. There are multiple different types of free agents. There's the unrestricted free agent that you're probably really familiar with. This means that after their contract is up, they are free to sign with anybody that they please. Anybody that they want to sign with. So there's that. Restricted free agent, that means that basically I'll use Nick Needham as an example, right? Let's say we let him walk and he wants to go to the Jaguars. And they offer him X amount of money, $2 million, whatever, for a year, whatever, just hypothetical. We have a limited amount of time to then decide if we want to keep Nick Needham or not. We can match them and keep Nick Needham. That's just as an example. I'll get into whether or not I want to keep him in a moment. I just want to explain what that is. And then we have exclusive restricted free agent. And basically this means that if we offer that player a 1-year deal at, position minimum, they have to take it, and they aren't free to walk to go play for anybody else. So that's a pretty interesting button that we have on Ahmed and Elijah Campbell. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So right off the bat, we have Will Fuller. Been kind of a disappointment. Obviously, he hasn't really played at all this year. It was a gamble when we signed him. We had a good feeling that it was a pretty good chance that he wouldn't have a whole lot of playing time. He's been injured pretty much his whole career. And yeah, I'm not trying to keep Will Fuller around. He can walk. Emmanuel Ogba, I definitely want to keep. I think he is extremely important to this team. He's only 28, which is crazy. You would think he would be older. If we can get him to like a 3-4 year deal, that would be great. I wouldn't want to completely break the bank for him, but we do have $74 million in cap space. If we're not the number one team in cap space, then we're pretty close. Actually, let's take a look at that. Yeah, so we are looking to be the highest in total cap space available. We'll have almost $75 million in cap space. So that's definitely enough to play around with, and I want to use that to our advantage. So I would like to be able to keep on to Ogba. Jacoby Brissett can absolutely walk. I'm not really interested in keeping him. When he has played for us, he hasn't played particularly well. And I think we can get a backup quarterback in the draft in the late rounds for a lot cheaper and have him for a long term. So that's just how I feel. Philip Lindsay, or we can sign a cheap veteran. I don't care. Philip Lindsay. Honestly, if he wants to sign like a really cheap 1-year deal, I'm down. But other than that, I'm not really trying to keep him. Albert Wilson, kind of same thing. If he asks for too much, I'd say let him walk. He's not like a really big priority for me. But I definitely wouldn't mind hanging on to him by any means. Justin Coleman can go. Elandon Roberts, kind of in the same boat. We let him walk last year, and we were able to get him back because, no one really picked him up. So if he wants to sign a team-friendly deal, I'm down to keep him. Malcolm Brown, I'm not interested in at all. Mike Gesicki, I definitely want to hang on to. Now, I don't think we're going to keep him. I don't think we are, but I want to. I think when we drafted Hunter Long and extended Adam Shaheen, I think that was in preparation for Mike Gesicki not being here. And I think that's because Brian Flores really prioritizes tight ends who can block, and Gesicki's just not good at that. But I think he adds so much to our offense. Like, besides Waddle, he is by far the most consistent player we have on that side of the ball, and I'm not trying to let him just walk. So that's just me. Now, hopefully, he actually does value himself as a tight end because that's a lot cheaper than a receiver. But, whatever. Michael Pilardi can go. I'm not really a big fan of him. Jason McCourty, he's been hurt all year. Not really interested. John Jenkins, same thing. He hasn't even been injured most of the time. He just hasn't been active, so he can go. I don't like Duke Riley. I definitely want to let him go. Mac Hollins, I definitely want to try to hang on to. He's pretty good on special teams, and he's been pretty consistent when he's had to come out and play. But again, I'm not going to break the bank for him. If he wants to sign a team-friendly deal, I mean, he's 28. That's not necessarily old for a receiver, but he hasn't really shown himself as a real threat at receiver. So if he wants to sign a team-friendly deal, I would love to keep him around because I do like him. But I'm not going to break the bank for him. Kind of same deal, Brendan Scarlett. Actually, he can kind of walk. I feel like we can get an upgrade over Brendan Scarlett, to be honest with you. If he wants to sign really cheap, go for it. But I'm not really that interested in him. Greg Mance can absolutely walk. Nick, I would like to be able to hang on to. I just don't think we're going to. I think we can probably get similar value out of him elsewhere. But, again, if he wants to sign a really team-friendly deal, I wouldn't hate hanging on to him. But, again, I'm not breaking the bank for many of them. The only two real priorities here is Mike Gesicki and Emmanuel Ogba. Like, I really want to hang on to those two. Like, I don't want to let them go. After that, I would really like to be able to hang on to Mac Hollins, if possible. Durham Smythe can go. I do like him a lot, but he can go play for somebody else. I don't really care. Ahmed, we may as well hang on to. I'm down to press that button and just have him stay around for league minimum. Elijah Campbell, really, same thing, really. If we just want to kind of press a button to keep him here at league minimum, I'm okay with that. Preston, honestly, I'm not interested in keeping Preston Williams. He's never healthy, and when he is here, he has a hard time hanging on to the football. I'm not really interested in keeping him. Sam Aguavan, same. I'm not really that interested in him either. He's almost 29 at this point, and he doesn't really play much. Now he does have some value because he can give you linebacker and edge snaps, but I'm not really that interested in keeping him around. So for me, priority goes Ogba. I don't actually know. Gesicki, Ogba. Mac Hollins. Albert Wilson, Nick Needham. And after that, everybody else can kind of walk, and I don't really care. And I like I said, I would like to be able to hang on to a Landon Roberts if he's like really cheap. Philip Lindsay, if he wants to stay, cool. But I'm not really prioritizing any of them. Ogba and Gesicki are the two that I really do not want to see play for somebody else, especially Gesicki, man. I don't want to see him play for another team. I really don't. But that's just me. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Like I said, I think it's probably a pretty good chance we do find a way to hang on to Ogba unless he asks for like an ungodly amount of money. Otherwise I do think it's probably pretty likely that we find a way to hang on to him. Mike Gesicki, like I said, I really want to keep him, but I do not think we're going to. I really don't. Mac Hollins, I could see staying here on like a team-friendly deal. Same with Landon Roberts. I would really like to. I'm not sure about Nick Needham. He might try to go get some more money, which is understandable. And like I said, Ahmed, just because I do think he's a solid running back, and we can just keep him for another year at league minimum, so why would we not? And we can do the same thing with Elijah Campbell, so why not press his button too? But if not, we can let him walk, and I don't care. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.